Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first Elite Golf Podcast. Here with myself, I'm Jesse Coffman. This is Matt Christian. We're inside the Marriott Fort Worth location, same location as the golf club at Champion Circle. I'm the head pro there. Matt, he is the owner of Elite Golf Performance, and we're opening his clinic here on site. So with this podcast, basically what we're wanting to do is just talk all things golf. We're going to do this probably weekly, hopefully, once we get going. We want to just go all over the place with golf. We want to talk some technique. We want to talk about what's going on with the PGA Tour, the Senior PGA Tour, whatever's going on in golf, and just have fun with it. We want to get you guys involved and just have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we'll probably run off topics, quite a bit with this because Jesse's been in the industry for 20 plus years. I've been in the industry 20 plus years. We can go on and do this all day long, every day, and have a lot of fun. And sometimes, like I said, we'll probably run off topic, and you just have to bear with us a little bit. But one of the things that I wanted to mention as we do this is, if you noticed a lot of my videos, I think every one of them is disabled, where you can't really make comments and things like that. It's because we're not trying to create debates with the instruction in this part. But this is going to be more opinion based, and it's going to be like, he and I will disagree, I guarantee you, on some things. Like, we do it several times, but you just agree to disagree. It doesn't matter. But we want your opinions too, like what you think about the game and where it's going, what you like about the old school, the new school, and what maybe makes it better, and we all learn from each other. And I think that's what's going to be cool about this podcast. We are going to go all over the yard. We'll probably end up, between Jesse and I, we might end up in MMA tonight at some point before we shut the show down. But it's really going to be golf based, but it'll probably run all over the place. But I can't wait to be involved with this, and couldn't have a better guy to work with to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Like you said, he and I, we talk golf pretty much all day, every day. So this is basically just going to be us talking about whatever's going on, whatever we think is important, something that we want to cover and think you guys will enjoy. So with that being said, again, we are on location here at the Marriott DFW. We're right across the street from Texas Motor Speedway. We got the big NASCAR race this weekend. So we've got a big crowd in town this week. I think there's 150,000 people expected at the race tomorrow.
And we have Dale Earnhardt here.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is on site. It's fun.
Junior,
Fun weekend. So a lot of fun things going on, and as I said, I'm the head pro at the golf course here on site, the golf club at Champion Circle, and his academy. Really, we just got the ball going this week. We're building a brand new academy, practice facility, a new green for Matt and all of his students. So really excited about that. So that's what we're doing. So I guess we can just kind of dive in.
I'm ready.
Right now, I mean, we can kind of talk about the pros first. We've got Rory McIlroy leading over in Japan in the World Golf Championship. I know, Matt, you and I, we've talked about, we expect Roy, we both agree, he's going to have probably a heck of a year this year.
I think he got a little pissed off at when he played, where the British Open was, at his home, pretty much his home.
In Ireland, yeah.
In Ireland. And we both had a conversation, said, man, and I wish I'm going to be keeping up a little bit more with the tour now, but and so forth. And it's not like I don't. I love golf as much as I ever did. I just get tied up in the business aspects and so forth. But we both got to watch that event, and it was an amazing event. But when he walked off that 18th green on it would have been Friday, and missed the cut, I said, man, Jesse, this is just my opinion. That was enough to piss him off to close some deals out.
I've always said he plays best when he's got a chip. When he's got a chip on his shoulder, he's got a little bit of something that's fueling that fire. I feel like that's when he plays best, and I think that's spot on with that. He missed that cut, and I think I don't remember, he had a terrible start to that tournament. I think he may have made an 8 or a 9 or something on the first hole maybe. Yeah. So, and almost came back. He shot, I don't know, 4 or 5 under or something on the last 9 maybe, and missed it by 1. And then, of course, the debate, he stays out of it, he downplays it, but the debate about who should have won Player of the Year, whether I know McIlroy did end up winning Player of the Year, a lot of people think Brooks Koepka should have won. There's definitely a debate to be made for both. McIlroy got the nod, and I think all the critics saying that he should not have received that award, I think that's just more fuel to his fire, and he's came out of the gate strong since then. He's won a few weeks ago, he's leading right now. Of course, they'll finish that tonight on our time here in America. So we'll wake up in the morning. We should know whether or not McElroy's got another win. But he's got a one-shot lead right now over Louis Oosthuizen, who Louis is.
Sweet swinger, man.
If I go to a tour event and just watch on the driving range, if Louis Oosthuizen is there, that's what I'm going to watch. To me, that is one of the silkiest, smoothest swings on the
Yeah,
tour.
that and the Fred Couples, you can give me those two every day, and I'm like a pig in sunshine, man. It's awesome. Those two are just amazing. And you just watch them. It doesn't really, because they get the job done the same way. I mean, they make the ball go where they want to make it go and all that, but it's just so silky. It's just, it's a little bit of a lost art. I mean, I'm sure eventually there's going to be these kids are coming out now. It's not just that they're speed based; they have a lot of silkiness to them. They're more connected, I would say, with you from a fitness.
Absolutely.
I think they're biomechanically more sound, but there's some of that old silkiness that would be cool to see in there. And I don't know, Tiger Woods probably is that guy. I mean, we're going backwards a little bit, but I think he was picked to miss the cut from what we watched the Golf Channel a little bit
Last week,
before.
right?
Like, and it's not to knock anybody. Hey, I understand. Like, he's injured, yeah. But like Jesse and I were talking about it, he's got 1 foot in the grave and the other one's out, and he's still breathing. I just don't want to bet against that guy. He's just so different. And he does have, he has the connected joints, he has all that stuff, and then he has that silkiness and flow, and he can just, the beauty and the beast of the game. You got the beast off the tee box in some aspects, but then you have that beauty around the greens and finesse and short shots. And it could be a 5-iron, it could be finesse. It depends on what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Tiger, his tee shots can be a little wayward, more than sometimes, a lot of the times, but
most.
His irons, to me, there's nobody that's ever touched Tiger with his irons. So, and we're going to get more into Tiger, definitely. I want to talk more about that coming off that historical win last week. Like Matt said, if he's half healthy, he doesn't have to be anywhere near 100%. And he made a good statement after he won in his post-round interview. He said, I can't do the things I used to do physically, but I can still plot my way around a golf course. I can think. And we're going to get more into the mental side of things in a little bit. But you can't say that enough about Tiger Woods. He figures out how to win golf tournaments. A lot of people are trying to figure out how to play golf, how to hit a draw. He's trying to figure out how to win, and he does it better than anybody in history now. So we'll talk about that. Get into Tiger a little bit more. Kind of get some notable names on the tournament. In third place right now is Xander Schauffele.
He's got a cool swing too.
Yeah, he does. Had a very good year last year. I think he probably ended up, I want to say top 5. If he wasn't, he was close.
I like the way he plays the game. He's kind of like, I don't know his height. You know more about that than I do, but it's kind of a little similar to Justin Thomas, and just got a lot of width in his down. And that's all technical stuff, but you could give him no width and he's still going to win. He's just a winner. He's got a tough mentality,
Yeah. And
I love the way he plays the game. I really do.
It is pretty amazing. Some of those guys you mentioned, Justin Thomas, him. There's several now that they're, I'm not gonna say they're skinny because they're toned, they're fit, but they're just not really big guys. They're lean, slender guys.
Brooks over
but
there.
they figure out how to get that club head speed and hit the ball.
Yeah, that was a lot of effort either. I love the way they both hit the club actually.
Yeah, all control.
And I think his dad was I don't know his whole story, so I don't know this, but Justin Thomas, I definitely know his dad was.
Right.
But I think the other one was his dad was a professional athlete, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think I heard that, but we'll see.
And that goes back again to the
got that
mental part.
attitude, man.
Those guys are trained from a kid to be a winner. They're trained. That's the mentality they've been built with, and there's not enough can be said about that.
No.
Tied for 15th, Hideki Matsuyama, hometown, obviously Japan, finished second last week, I believe, to Tiger. Gave him a pretty good run at the end. Didn't make it easy on Tiger. So he's in 15th, looking for another strong finish.
I think that's impressive too, though, because of the fact that like when we talked about McElroy playing I think, and I heard from a friend of mine that plays out there, not on there, but the champions, but he talked about how hard it is sometimes playing your hometown.
Oh, yeah.
Much like a country like that, but they put a lot of pressure on themselves to go out and they want that so bad. You could just see it, McElroy. He's almost walking off tears and the Irish.
He was.
I think,
He was.
Yeah, and then Hideki or whatever. I mean, they're to play that well in his home country because he had to want that so much.
I can't imagine at that level.
Not
I mean,
that everybody else didn't either, but
even like high school kids that I worked with, when they play their home course, you would think they would dominate because they play there every day. They shoot really good scores there every day, and then the tournament comes, and now suddenly the grandparents are coming out, the parents are coming out.
Best friends.
All the people that play at that course now have an interest in what they do there, and it gets in their head, and they shoot the worst score they shot all year, and of course then it messes with them bad, and that's a hard thing to overcome. It's a lot of pressure, and then I'm talking about at a high school level. You can imagine what on a tour level. I mean, he's got an entire country.
And it was a major too, and I would say that would be the difference between the Hideki versus like the McElroy. But I'm not sure it really made much of a difference. But I think that extra pressure that was his first British Open, it's right there. He knows the golf course. He had pretty good experience from what I heard. His history there was really good. So it's one of those things where there's no question he was wanting to put on a show, and and he probably wasn't trying to get too high or too low. He's been around. He's a veteran of the game. I heard a lot of players and everybody has their own opinions, but I heard a lot of people say, "Oh, he doesn't know how to win golf tournaments." And I was like, "Dude, this is Roy McIlroy knows how to win golf tournaments." And don't ever forget that. He's one of was it 4 majors? No, it was right there exactly.
Yeah.
But guy knows how to win golf, and he knows how to. When he gets hot, he will blow you right out of the field, and he can still do it now too.
He's one of the few people that when he's on, I feel like nobody can beat him. I mean, he can win golf
He's
tournaments by.
he's got out of that. And technically, yeah.
He can win golf tournaments by 10
too.
shots.
Oh,
He's done it several times. When he gets going, he just takes off.
He gets that walk going. He does that little duck strut, man. I love it. He got that waddle going, and hey, I would do it too if I was playing like that. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, there's only a few people, in my opinion. There's players that have had 1 week maybe in their career where they did that, where everything just lined up. But there's only a few people, in my opinion, that have done that multiple times. McElroy won, Tiger won, Brooks Koepka, where when they really have everything going, they just lap the field, and they've done it over multiple tournaments.
You don't see anybody just run away much anymore because they're all so good, or not good. I mean, that's a stupid word. They're phenomenal, but they just are, just like the thing says on the motto for the PGA Tour. That they're all now there's so many of them, but in the lap of field, pretty much essentially, like Brooks does, Roy does, Tiger can still do it. They're just not. I mean, 4 guys maybe. I mean, even like I love Dustin Johnson. I watched him play out there, and I tell you what, it's from a ball striking standpoint, it doesn't get any easier and more powerful, and just not a lot of effort, and the ball goes where it's supposed to go. It's awesome, but he really doesn't lap fields and majors, and like Jordan Spieth. I'm not talking bad about him. I'm just saying they don't really outrun the field where you can't catch them. Like they're gone.
Right.
Very few.
Yep.
They do.
Right.
Roy McIlroy and Brooks Koepka and Tiger Woods, they can leave you. They can leave you hanging where you got no chance to win on Sunday, basically.
Yeah. This is a really strong field over in Japan. Tied for 15th with Hideki is Patrick Reed, Hendrik Stenson, Justin Rose, Adam Scott, Bubba Watson. It's a pretty stacked field. Of course, it's a World Golf Championship, so it makes sense. But Patrick Reed, how do you feel to see him going this year?
I don't know. I love the way he plays the game. I mean, I think he's a gamer. I mean, you can't take that out of a person. He's got a lot of heart. I know it looked like to me, I don't know his coach, and I think when we were at the WGC event in Austin, he was trying to hit that cut, but it was still like a draw, you know what I mean? It was like he couldn't, it looked like, and I don't know, because I don't want to speak for his coach, I don't want to speak for Patrick Reed either, because it's not any of my business, but it just looked like they were trying to neutralize some of that draw. Yeah. Like his alignment got better.
That, and he was doing that helicopter finish to hold that club face open.
Yeah, it's kind of dragging it up, and you could tell they were working on it.
Right.
And it looks, once that gets synced up, I mean.
Well, he got a victory at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Probably 6 weeks ago.
I don't think you can ever stop a guy like that, because it's just, he's a champion, he's a warrior in his heart, man. And
guys like that.
It's controversial, but, hey, look, when you're a tough dude, it's gonna be something.
Right.
Not everybody's going to walk away with this thing clean. And I love the way he plays the game personally. And I'm telling you, as an American, at the Ryder Cup, you fire me up some fire. Put him out. Whoever the best guy is at that time, fire him up. I want Patrick Reed. That's no question. I love the way he plays the game for the States. He's a warrior for sure.
No doubt about it. Now I mentioned Henrik Stenson. He's also tied let's go at 6 under. Henrik, we talk about him a lot as far as ball striking. I did see a couple weeks ago he got rid of old trusty 3-wood. He switched to a new 3-wood, I believe.
That's crazy.
I don't know why you would do that. I mean,
what if the face got dented or something?
I think something had to happen. I mean, he hit that thing 300 yards and never missed a fairway. That's why I wasn't thinking of that 3-wood.
No, it wasn't incredible. It still is incredible, but he has that sound. What we talked about before, it's just a different. And it's weird because it's controversial in the teaching side of what we do, because I have a lot of players that I like to where they can clip the ball and get maximum compression, and so they don't really have a lot of distance control issues. So they jump on them or this and that. And it's just from learning from observation, around great players and things like that. But he beats on the ball. And there's no doubt about it. He beats on the ball. And I think if you talk to a lot of the high-level instructors that are out there that've been around the game long enough, and now especially with technology that's changed, that's why his driver's not always the best, because it's kind of sliding up the face of shape, whereas you can tee the 3-wood down and you can get it more and hit that penetrating shot. It's probably more of a 2-wood even. The way he treats it,
yeah,
it looks like it fires off of there fast, and it's he's an interesting story because of the fact I remember he became number 2 in the world, and that was so far. That was that was probably 20-something years ago. It may have been more than that. But then, and he was on his way right up the ladder chasing Tiger. I mean, way back. It's more than 20. And then all of a sudden, he makes a kind of radical swing change. And he was this close to winning the game.
Yeah.
He couldn't break 80. That's his words, not mine. And he wasn't. And him and his coach, I believe Pete Cowan, I don't really know exactly how they got back on track. I think he was his coach at that time and when he recovered. But one of the things that he had a champion story as well, because he came back from something that, there's 2 things in golf that I see from my experience, and this is my opinion, that can run you off the tour faster than anything. One's an injury, because you lose all your confidence. You have to have, in my opinion, a certain amount of tournaments built up, and work your way up the ladder, and then you get it on it and you roll. You just fly away and you're good for a while. But then all of a sudden you get an injury, and you lose all that buildup of confidence, and you come back out going, I don't know if this is going to work, or I don't have that same energy that I had before when I was just rolling. And then the other thing is like a massive swing change. Those 2 things will run you, in my opinion, can run you off the tour and never come back. And for him to come back off of that, I don't want to put words, I don't know if he was working with Pete at that time. Certainly wouldn't let him. He's a great coach. But he made a swing change, and he was trying to change things, and it didn't work. Chip Beck did it, Ian Baker Finch did it, Duvall did it. Duvall had other issues as well, but when they and Curtis Strange tried to make some radical changes. You look at the history of the game, even Faldo did it, Norman did it. He got away with it a little bit, but did try to do it again. It kind of ran him off a little bit. You look at the history of it, and it doesn't usually work out because they're already there. They're at the dance. You got to dance with the one that brung you. And not to say you can't make some changes, but to make radical changes would be something that I would say that you got to be real careful with when you're at that level. Because it's not like you can't. It's not like if you shoot 100 and make a radical swing change. What are you going to lose? You're shooting 100.
Right.
You're winning majors, and you do it. It can hurt you.
Speaking of that, the next person on the list is Justin Rose, who went through some changes and went up and down.
You talked about it the other day.
2 years ago he was on top of the world. He looked unbeatable. Kind of hit a dip. Didn't do anything for a while. And I feel like he's coming back out of that now. He's starting. You'll see his name kind of creeping back up. He's somebody that if he gets that confidence built back up week after week, he's someone you're going to have to watch for. I like his swing. A lot of people think he's kind of boring golf because he's not much personality. He's all business when he's out there. And, but you can't deny the guy can. I mean, if he's on, again, he can win any tournament and not intimidated by anyone.
No, his putting is interesting, and I don't know his putting coach's name, and I can look it up. But he changed he hired a guy to do his putting for him, his coach, and separate from his swing and all that. And of course, he made the equipment change, like you talked about. You brought up to me, and what do you think? And I was like, well, so far it hasn't worked, but his putting stats have got a lot better.
Yeah.
And his ball striking kind of went down maybe a shade, and I'm sure he balances that out. Once his putting, even when he was winning, was similar to like a Dustin Johnson in a way to me. It wasn't like it was just horrendous, but it was above average, but it wasn't like the elite, like where you'd see like a Jason David or Jordan Spieth or Tiger when they're really on with their putting, knocking everything in from 15 to 25 feet.
Yeah, funny thing. When we went to Austin, we went to the match play tournament this past year, and I watched him warm up. And before his round, he hit, they were probably 5-foot putts, and he was missing the entire hole. Over and over and over. Justin Rose.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't even coming close, and you could tell he was kind of getting frustrated. And I was thinking, well, he's in trouble. And then that day, he made every putt he looked at when he got on the course.
Yeah.
It was kind of amazing to watch because he was definitely getting frustrated on the putting green and just hitting terrible putts. And then once he got into the round, he drained everything, won his match easily.
Yeah.
Just gonna go through. Just gonna hit some of the notable names.
He's also one of the greatest iron players, and he's just a phenomenal player. I love watching him play, but he is kind of boring because he's so good.
Yeah, and so
Chill.
methodical.
Yeah.
He's so everything is got a purpose. So
For sure.
Let's talk about Tony Finau. I don't think you and I have ever talked about Tony Finau.
I've got some stories about Tony. But,
Yeah?
So Tony's. I watched Tony play. I might have told you the story. Kevin Moore, a real good friend of mine. That's one of the real good buddies with Gary Woodland, and they played golf at the University of Kansas together and so forth. And I'd worked with Kevin quite a bit. He got the second stage qualifying at played in San Jose, somewhere outside of San Jose, California. Beautiful golf course, and Tony was playing in that same. They played together.
Yeah.
And Kevin beat him like a yard dog. I mean, if Kevin's here, he vouch, he knows. It's just he beat him like a yard dog. And they were saying, "Oh, this guy hits it a long way," and like Kevin is banging it by him the whole time. And when I watched him, he at that point, and I say this with respect, because is what I'm going to come back to. I watched him play, and I didn't even care because I thought the kid was on. That shows you what I probably knew at the time. I thought he'd never play ever on the tour. And it was because his ball flight was high, his swing was kind of loosey-goosey back then. It's not short and tight. Whoever worked with him, I'm sure he found a coach that worked with him. But the thing was, he had this big frame.
Yeah.
You're not a big guy, but he had a big loose frame. Like
Yeah.
you could put something on top of that. And he found somebody that shortened and tightened things up, I'm sure. And whoever did it did a wonderful job getting him prepared, because I never thought he would ever play ever on the PGA Tour. And I was obviously 100% wrong. But that's just one. So I played twice. They played 2 days ago, I guess it was. And but he was a super nice guy. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Smiling all the time, just like you would see him on TV. He's not fake. He's legit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I was in that little fantasy league with some of our idiot friends from Dexter, Missouri. We're both
Got a
from
bunch
that
of
area. So I was in a little fantasy league with them, and Tony Finau, if I needed someone that I knew was going to be a top 20, I mean, I could pick him. I would throw him in the mix, and he would do well for me every week. He's very consistent. All right, let's talk about Jordan Spieth. He's continuing his not great play. He's 1 over right now. He's in 53rd place. What's it going to take for him to get it back to going?
It goes back to like he almost won 4 majors in a row. Now that almost is like it doesn't really work unless you're horseshoes or whatever. Like they say the other stuff, anything. But like the one thing that he won the Masters in the U.S. right, and he almost won. What was it? He won
the British.
Yeah,
Did
he win 3? So I can't remember that.
They were different year. They weren't back to back.
But okay. So he was just. I know he was running. He had this run, and it was like, man, he could do the Tiger run basically. And the next year, I see a Golf Digest article that comes out, and it's about him. He's going to change his takeaway. Him and his coach, and it's not to knock his coach and all that. His coach has coached him forever. He's done phenomenal. But they were talking about going to open the club, and his club wasn't closed anyway. And if you understand, like, really what works and what's real and what's not real. And I saw that first article, and I was like, man, I hope he doesn't try to do this. And it's like there's no need for it. He's had the same backswing. That backswing can win that many things, but what are you going to do? You're going to change it? Because, like, you're probably going to lose and get beat up. And that did, and it was like, and it seemed like it put pressure on his putting, and his putting started to go, and that's my theory, and I may be way off, but there was an article, I remember it was right after that year, he just clipped everybody, just smoked them. And he was running down the field and catching.
You know, I don't understand. I've never understood that theory. Unless there's an injury, which Tiger's an easy example for everything, but he's had what 3 major swing changes at least.
Probably at least.
I feel like most of those were because of injury. The first one probably not. It was more for distance control. I feel like, and just
for sure.
And then, but since then it was because of injury. That I understand. But someone like Jordan Spieth, just like you said, if you've won that many majors, that many tournaments, what is the reason to try to change it? I don't understand that theory. And like you said, it definitely trickled down to his putting. His putting, I feel like it's just confidence altogether. And you can tell with his demeanor when he starts playing bad, he starts moving fast, talking fast, he comes out of shots, and that's just kind of calm. He gets,
he just
kind of, it's like it just starts boiling up inside, and he just goes 100 mile an hour, and it's just confidence. So, I don't know, it'd be great for the game. I like Jordan Spieth. I'd like to see him competing and get it back going, and he will. I think he's too good of a player not to, but it's going to be hard for him to get back to that dominant play that he had before.
I think when you start talking about rotation of the club going backwards, especially now, you got to remember it's not like you're talking about 100 years. You're talking about a guy that dominated the tour that year, and for a couple years, and then all of a sudden you're going to change rotation, like an open rotation in your takeaway. Like what for? Tell me what that open rotation. I mean, it wasn't like his club was turned upside down the other way. It's like, what is that going to do to affect that? Because now you're just going to turn it back down. So now you're just adding in more things that can go wrong than you are what it was. He knew how to use it. They should have left it alone. Sometimes you just got to get. Sometimes I think, and I've been a coach for a very long time. It's my 26th year. And sometimes you think you got to tell people more than what they really need because you want to try to. It's almost like sales in a way. You kind of start thinking, well, I've been teaching this, and he's winning, but I need to give him something else, or he's probably going to find,
Right.
And now, with experience, I like, the guy I told you about the story. I was like, I'm going to give you 2 things, and guess what? Get tired of them because you're going to win a lot, and it worked. And I don't need to give you 50 things. I don't need to change it. I just need to get you to do the right thing, and you just need to trust me. And if I don't do my job, hey, you don't have to worry about me. I'll walk away. You ain't gonna have to fire me. And I have never been fired yet from a tour player, but I can tell you this is because I'm gonna stick and I'm gonna hold. And if something's not working, they don't ever have to worry about me not saying. I will walk and gladly send them to somebody that makes them a better player because their livelihoods are on the line. You can't just go in there and just rip up stuff and go, man, I hope this works. And trust me, teachers behind closed doors, especially a little bit older days, they were doing it. They'd scratch those heads and go, man, I hope this works. I hope, and I've scratched my head a few times going, man, I hope this sticks. And so you guess yourself. And then once you get to a certain level, I think that I don't really guess anymore, and that really helps me. And I don't think you have to implement new things just to do it. If you dance with the one that brought you. If you're winning at that level and you're beating the competition and the best in the world, why don't we just keep doing what we're doing and just keep smoking?
I'm nowhere near this level, but first time you really worked with me a little bit. I was obsessed with my club face. It's a little bit shut going back, and I was obsessed with trying to figure out how to get it what I thought was more square. So I brought that up right off the bat, and you looked at it and you said, no, that's not a problem. You're fine right there. That's what works for you and me. And changed a couple things, and instantly everything started clicking a lot better for me. Like you said, I think a lot of teachers, if I would have said that, they would have said, yeah, your clothes, that's what he wants to focus on, so that's what I'm going to do. You didn't care what I wanted to focus on. You cared about what was going to make me a better player. And that was awesome. I've seen it a lot. So, all right, 2 more people, and then we'll kind of move on to some other things. Sergio Garcia, he's 1 under. He's in 38th place. Not terrible, but Sergio, he won the Masters, and then kind of fell away. I think he won I think he won a European Tour tournament maybe a month ago or so, 2 months ago maybe, and I may be wrong, but I feel like that happened. But where do you see him going? You see him
probably just depend on settling down,
just kind of pop up every once in a while, kind of player. That's kind of what I expect. I
think he settles in and just goes back to probably. And I'm in a way I am serious about getting married. And some people they just flourish like Jack Nicklaus said when he got married and had children. His game just focus.
Yeah.
It's so much more about not him, is about family.
Yeah.
And he's probably just a little bit into that, trying to figure all this out. Because Sergio was pretty much on his own as far as.
I think everybody's different on that. I think some people can kind of get married and get into that part of life, and they don't feel like golf is so important anymore. Because before that, that's probably all they had. So that was 100% of their focus and effort. And then you get married, and you start maybe having kids or whatever, and then that becomes more important. So you're not devoting maybe the effort, but at the same time, it also they view it different. They don't freak out as bad when they're not playing good because it's not as important now, and that can be a plus or a minus. I think that depends on the individual.
I think it's individual. Like, and he moved from, I don't know where he's lived before. I don't know if he lived in Europe or where, but he moved to Austin, and so he lives, just down the street. And, that'd be tough too, man. If you're not, it's a lot of change at one time. And that's another probably thing that you could have on that list besides swing changes and injuries. Is, massive changes in your life can throw you off, I would think. And I think I'm not saying they're bad, not at all. I'm just saying it could affect his game. I think once he kind of settles in, I'm sure he'll come right back. Because man, he's just got so much talent. He's a freak.
Right. Yeah,
he's one of those freaks, man.
Yeah. And then lastly, let's talk about Phil Mickelson. He's one under. He's in 38th place. He's tied with Sergio. Phil is, what is he, 47, 48?
I don't know, but he cracks me up, man.
Oh, he's
gosh.
Definitely one of the best personalities on tour. When he finally jumped on to whatever Instagram and Twitter, all that stuff, I mean, he created a second career for himself.
He did. Young Bucks love him. He gives him my help too. He knows how to talk that trash, man.
And he's talked about. A lot of people talk about how he handles fans, and if you've never had the experience of being at a tour event and getting to interact with Phil Mickelson, he definitely does go above and beyond to try to talk to everyone. He makes jokes with everyone. It's extremely nice guy. And, he said he learned that from Arnold Palmer when he was a kid. He said he saw Arnold Palmer sign autographs, and he said he was going to stay there until everybody had an autograph. And when he was a kid, he saw it, and he said, if I ever make it, that's what I'm going to be. It's pretty cool. So I don't know. If you don't like Phil Mickelson, you'd have to explain to me why, because I don't see any reason why he wouldn't.
I think that people sometimes take and I think everybody's scared to say the word cocky because he was such a cocky kid. And I don't get cocky doesn't bother me.
Don't bother me at all.
Don't bother me at all. And like they say, it's confidence. Well, no, it's probably cocky. I mean, I don't know how you determine the two labels, but it's okay. I mean, you gotta have to die. You're still in golf. You can be as cocky. It's like we talk about mixed martial arts and boxing a lot, and you can be as cocky as you want. You're still gonna have to show up and get in an arena.
You better be
by yourself. You don't have a team to throw it to and make you look good.
I mean, it's true in golf. If you bring up boxing or MMA, you better walk into that cage or that ring cocky. You better be 100% confident you're gonna get hurt.
I told you the story about a buddy of mine, and he was my boss actually. I won't mention his name, but I think I've told you that story. He was talking trash at the clubhouse, wanting to get a game. You don't have to talk very long to get a game. You get two good players, and he and I were going to play together, obviously. And you get two good players, not scary. They're going to come out there and do what they do. And then, the way he talked, you thought he was Conor McGregor of golf. And he gets out there and he hits his first tee shot, it was terrible. And he goes, "Hey Matt, you're gonna have to cover me today. I don't think I have it." I went, "You just spent 2 hours talking to these guys trash." He's like, but it was funny. But it's sometimes people talk and they don't have it. But like I said, eventually you got to take that golf club and you swing. You can't have somebody do it for you.
That's right.
We do it on. I shouldn't say it on our own, but we live a life that's different than most.
Yeah. And I've heard Tiger say this. I've heard other people put it different ways, and I definitely buy into the philosophy that your confidence, your good play comes from confidence. Your confidence comes from hard work, knowing that you put that hard work in. And I kind of break that down into two ways. A good swing comes from putting work in on the range. A good play comes from taking that good swing and putting it into play on a golf course. We talked a lot about this yesterday, about the difference in someone that spends hours and hours and hours on a range. Their swing is flawless, their ball flight's good, but then when they go on the course, they don't compete very well. They don't score. And then other players hardly ever go to the range, but they play all the time. They have that confidence on the course. To me, you got to have a mix, but if I'm going to lean towards one, I agree with what you said yesterday. You got to play. You got to play to know how to play.
Yeah, you got to get money games. You got to put your money where your mouth is. You got to get beat up. It's a humility game, and then we'll probably end up. I don't know about this one, but you know, with jiu-jitsu, when the first time I ever had jiu-jitsu, you just, guys just beat you to death, you know, and it's humiliating. I mean, I remember in jiu-jitsu, I had a girl that weighed about 100 pounds, and I probably weighed 160 in high school, and she flipped me and rolled me, and I was like, how'd that just happen? That's the most embarrassing thing. It was like easy, because her technique was so perfect, it had to be. And that's what but then you get that humility and you want to learn, and it's just this thing. And the same thing with golf is you have to get that humility, and then once you have that, you're gonna have to be cocky too, but you have to learn how to take getting beat up and not quit. You know, that the goal is not to get beat up and quit. And golf is a little bit different, I will say, than kind of like jiu-jitsu. They'll help you, and they'll kind of like the better ones will help you. In golf, they'll just tell you, you know, they don't care. You know, most of the people I know, probably even myself included, I really didn't care. If I beat you to death, I wasn't going to go over there and try to help you. Or if I got beat up, the person that beat me up, they're not going to probably come over there to try to help you. They might. If you ask for it, they probably will. Mm-hmm. But you have to eat that humble pie and usually ask for it, and you'll find, if you stay in the game long enough, you'll find that, and learn how to, you don't want to listen to everybody, but the ones that can beat you, if you just, a lot of times just watching them, you know, watch them hit shots around the greens and into the greens, and I can dink their way around the golf course.
Yeah, and I hear it all the time, just about everybody I've ever talked to, they go to a tour event, so they spent 2 or 3 days watching these guys play, and then when they get back home, they play a lot better. For a week or two, they play good, because they,
without question,
all the dumb stuff they do every day, they realize that don't happen. And now, I mean, even one thing I always notice, my tempo gets a lot better. Watching them, I mean, I'll just watch them on the range for hours, and then the tempo of my swing, I just wish I could. It slowly starts going back. But when my first couple of weeks back from watching these guys play, I always hit the ball better.
Everybody says that. That's probably that's one thing. It's like a common denominator. Like it's not like you hear anybody go, I went to a tour event, boy, I just didn't have it next week. You know, I lost everything.
Yep.
I remember I watched Seve Ballesteros, and I love, because I love Greg Norman, I love Ballesteros. That was kind of my generation, loved him. But Seve would play me out. I mean, I about had a heart attack when I saw him as a little boy. And I'll never forget, and he didn't play good that week. And it was just, you know, Seve was really kind of at the end of his career with that. But man, I don't care. It didn't matter where the ball flew to me, just watching him swing, and you can start implementing some of that silkiness. And I love Fred Couples too. I love watching him just swing the club. But Seve was just, I don't know if it was just because it was Seve, but man, I came back, and that was one of those experiences. I came back to Perryville Country Club when I was a boy, and come back and played, and it was like, man, it was weird, like a light turn. I didn't change my technique. I didn't change anything. It was, and there was a cool story. I have to pull this up, but we might be able to do that. But there was I'm not gonna remember. Al Gabber, Mr. 59, first one. They did this deal, and I think it was at UCLA or Stanford, one of the schools. It was one of these schools where they just put all these golfers in there, pretty much, I believe, the same level. And all they did is, it wasn't about techniques, and all they did is just show the swing. They just looped the swing, and all you do is watch.
Yeah.
And that's it. They're just like,
Gets in your head. Yeah.
And they came out, and like they were better. Now I don't know placebo, I don't know whatever, but like it was definitely like, they said that was like the #1 best instructional video, and there was no words to it. It was just music. They put music on top of it, and they just let him swing. And that was a pretty cool. That might have been a Golf Digest, but that was absolutely 100%.
That's cool. Never heard that before.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, let's jump over to the Champions Tour, and we'll start with your guy, Wes Short Jr. He's in 33rd. He's even yesterday. Of course, they have 2 rounds.
Not being in trouble if he's 33rd.
Yeah, he's even. Let me see how far back he is.
His stats yesterday. Pull up his stats yesterday.
Okay.
If you can.
600's lead, so he's 6 shots back, and that's behind Billy Mayfair, Menez, and Woody Austin. Well, those guys are consistent. Man,
Woody can play.
they've been there every week. His stats. Let me see what we got here.
That's a dumb statement. Absolutely, you're out there. You can play.
So his
putting stats.
Wow, he hit every fairway.
That's what I'm saying.
83% of the greens, and averaged 2 putts. So that's just.
Well, I keep my job, I guess, this week because I'm on the putting coach.
He had 16 bars, 1 birdie, 1 bogey. So he basically hit every green, 2 putted, 1 on.
Yeah, that's
pretty boring round.
Yep. But it could be dispersion from the hole with that too.
Yeah.
You know, I'll talk, like, that stat's a little, like the stats can be misleading, and I learned this from him as well, Wes, but it's like, hey, it may look like I miss a few greens here and there, but he'll take short sides. He's like Brett Favre with football, where, you got a gap, there's nothing to go through, and you sling it in there, and it might get picked, but it might go for a touchdown too. You don't know. But it's the way he plays the game. He takes edges. He'll take it on a short side all day long. He's not scared.
Mm-hmm. And for you that don't know, the reason I brought up Wes Short Jr., he works with Matt. Matt works with him, I should say. So
very close friend as well.
He's got a vested interest there, friendship and professional relationship also. And he's had a heck of a run in the last.
Since we started again, we got going.
What's it been now? 8 weeks probably. You
British
guys,
Open.
Senior
The week
British.
before is when we started before the British Open.
Yeah.
We made the phone call, and that's when we got together.
Yeah,
and it's been a roll. It's been awesome.
If you guys remember, he was leading the British Open the week after they started working again, and on Sunday morning they slipped in the hotel room and fell and hurt his back. Saturday.
Saturday was the third round, and he slipped the third round. He played 2 rounds with that.
Oh, did he? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was Sunday. Okay, so still got a 7th place, I think.
Yeah,
with it. And you could tell it was bothering him pretty bad. He won.
Yeah.
He won a couple weeks after that. He's had several top 10, top 15 finishes. So
we slipped. We were 44th. When I say we, it's not really we. He was 44th. With that, when he made the call, and said, "Hey, man, I need your help." We've done this a few times, but we had to have a kind of a heart-to-heart about what we were going to do as well. I didn't want anybody else involved. I don't think, as they say, I'm not calling a dog, but no one dog needs 2 trainers. And it was like we had to have a serious conversation. I can't just do this. We got to just do what. If I fail, you don't have to. Again, like I said earlier, you don't have to worry about me. I'll gladly walk away and send you to somebody that I think can do a better job. But we've had a good run. He's what, the 17th now, I believe, in the standings.
Going into this week.
We only had like 10 tournaments left, and he's won before, so it wasn't like trying to save his car, but it was more about just he would tell you that he was just having a hard go at playing golf. He didn't really want. When you don't play well, it's not a lot of fun, and he's having fun again. That's like I said, from his friendship standpoint, I have 2 relationships with him. And that's one as his coach, been with him for a long, long, long time. But also, regards to all that, I don't care. He's my friend. And I want to see him play well. I don't care who works with him.
Well, both of you guys have done a heck of a job. And they've got the Champions Tour Championship is next weekend.
Yeah, that's in Phoenix.
That's next weekend, just outside of Phoenix. So
he's in Thousand Oaks where all the fire though. That's all the fires are out there right now. There's California.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's pretty wild out there. I think they got it down, but it was pretty good go last week.
Yeah. I haven't seen much TV. As we've had, I think we had 21 golf tournaments we hosted here at the golf club in October. 21 tournaments. So I don't know what's going on in the world outside of golf right now.
But not me much either. We got after, especially the last 2 weeks. We had all these tournaments set up.
Yeah, I mean it
was awesome.
We get finished in one tournament, make sure they have a great time, good experience, and then as soon as they're done, we break it down and start setting up for the next. So it's a good month. It's a lot of fun. It's something I really enjoy. So yeah, a lot going on. Let's circle back around just for a minute. We talked about Tiger, but obviously that's the stat he broke last week. He tied Sam Snead with 82 wins. Not taking anything away from Sam Snead at all. He's one of the greatest ever. I think it's incredible, but I feel like those 2 stats, the 82 wins by Sam Snead, the 82 wins by Tiger, are almost two different animals. Because Sam Snead, he was playing in some of the fields where I think some of his wins were against five-man fields, different thing. And I don't care if you win 82 local tournaments at your club over your life, that's incredible. So I'm not taking anything away from him, but I just feel like 82 wins in today's game that Tiger played in. Doesn't make sense. I mean, it's incomprehensible. We looked, he's almost won 25%. I think he's at 24%.
Yeah, I thought it was 10, or what I said the other day, 10.
Yeah.
No, it's not 10.
Yeah, he's
25%.
Right at 24% of the tournaments he's entered on the tour, he's won.
That's insane.
To me, I don't feel like anybody's ever going to touch that. And that's what McElroy made that statement the other day. He said, I'm not unrealistic. I understand that that's not in
this
reach.
day and age, it's going to be, and every day in this age, as it goes by, it's going to be harder to do.
Yeah. And I can tell you from my experience, you know, you and I have actually played a couple of Monday qualifiers together, different things back in the early 2000s. I didn't play anything for a while. Of course, I really dove into the golf business side of business instead of the playing side, so you don't get to play a lot. So I kind of got out of that, and then probably, I don't know, it's probably 3 years ago, I did a Monday qualifier for at that time, it was a web.com tournament, and even in that 12, 15 year stretch, I realized how much that competition had went up. I mean, man, everyone in that field was shooting 65, and I understand it's a Monday qualifier, it's what you have to do, but man, it's a whole different animal now compared to just 20 years ago, definitely to 40 years ago.
The one we played, there was that one in Cherokee Valley. That day there was a 61 and 463s.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep, sure do.
And so they had a playoff for that 4th spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so somebody got X shooting 63 that day.
Yeah.
And then I went to that tournament. All 4 players missed the cut.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, Cherokee Valley. It's not that much. I mean, there's difference.
Right.
It's a tour course. I mean, it's different, but
yeah,
all 4 missed the cut.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a brute. When you play this game, you go in there and you do all that. You shoot you a 61. You don't make the cut on Thursday, Friday. It just changes. The game changes every day.
Every level you go to, you get where you're playing good at this level against this competition. Confidence to the road, feel like you can beat anybody. You try to go to the next level, and you're starting right on the bottom of the totem pole, and you have to build your way up, and it's humbling. I mean, there's some of these guys that just the phenoms that just kind of skip that. But for the average person trying to make it,
I think you
gotta play.
I think they get into that eye candy, not being pretty women out there. But I'm just saying it could be. But it's really the video comes, you've got the TV cameras, you've got, you see people and you're going, so I'm not saying the Tiger was at that turn because it wasn't, but I'm just saying you see a Tiger Woods walk right in front of you going, now we're in the big leagues now.
Yeah.
And, some people can deal with that and some people can't. And I think, a lot of the sports psychology coaches help with a lot of those things now, but.
Yeah. And I think
it's big leagues when you go
the absolute best way, if you're a parent and you've got a child that's really wanting to try to go there, get them in tournaments. Get them in as much that not experience playing golf, tournament experience. That's where if they really want to compete, that comfort level you're talking about, if you've not ever done it, I don't care who you are, you're not going to be comfortable if you just jump right in at that level. You need to play kind of work your way up through the progression of tournaments, whether it's junior tournaments, high school tournaments, college, mini tour, whatever the route you take. But if you just try to go straight to one of the big tournaments and somehow you get in, you don't have a lot of tournament experience, you're going to do you're not even be thinking about golf. You're going to be thinking about who's watching, who am I playing right behind? That's somebody you've watched on TV. You got the one thing that always got me is you get on the first tee box, they have rule officials sometimes that are wearing suits, and they look like Secret Service.
Yeah, it does.
And they're standing right beside you, and you're just kind of like, whoa, you're not in your comfort zone. You have to figure out ways to block all that and play your game. That's what matters. It's all the same. You're still playing the same game. You have to take all that away and then play that game that you've worked so hard to get, and it's hard to do.
Yeah, that level you're talking about too, that's that rule. It is kind of like a rule, and I haven't seen it broken yet. But I'm not saying it won't be. But the person that tried to break it was Michelle Lee, where you got to work your way up. Basically, if you just want to make it simple, city, you can beat everybody in your city. Play the state events, the big state events where everybody's coming together in the state. If you win all the state events, you go national. So it's similar. It's a really easy way to kind of look at it.
Right.
Simple. You can't beat anybody in your city. Probably not going to beat everybody in your state. You're not going to get lucky. It doesn't work like that. And then trying to jump the loop, it's like in boxing, like Mike Tyson. If you'd put Mike Tyson at 14 against George Foreman when he was whatever in his prime, or Muhammad Ali, he would have got knocked out. And he would probably never ever boxed again. He'd probably been just his brain would Same thing in golf. Your brain, when it gets affected, like Michelle, we tried to do that pump. I think she was like 11 or 12, and she was in final pairing at the Nabisco, had a chance to win legitimately, and then next thing you know, she missed the John. It wasn't the John. It was at the Hawaiian out there where they had she missed about one shot. It was Sony, or it wasn't Sony. It was one of those. Yeah, she played the men's tournament.
Yeah.
Missed about one shot. The cut. I mean, one shot. This girl's like 14. It's crazy. That'll probably never ever happen again. and literally just, I mean, this close to making it. And then next thing you know, it's like, you could tell they kept trying to pump her into these events, and she was getting sponsors exemptions, and it backfired, and then it was like really backfired, and then she couldn't even beat these people that she should be dominating. Then went through all these swing changes. She radically changed
everything.
And her swing got really short. She's a big, tall girl, and it was just weird. But you know, and I loved watching her. I still love watching her play, and that was a story that was pretty. It wasn't to say it's heartbreaking. She ended up winning U.S. Open, and she's had a great career and all that stuff. But it was one where you saw where that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Management mistake. No question.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And like you said, it's how that affected her mind. Not the physical. Her game it's how it affected her mind, and then when that starts going, everything physically starts going.
She finally got beat up enough in the mind where it was like, you know, then she started second guessing herself. And she just stayed on the women's tour all the way up and dominated and rolled them, you know, and then worked her way up. I think she would have probably made a cut out there. I think she would have been probably the greatest. She had a chance to be one of the greatest that ever played the game. And, you know.
So let me ask you a question. You've worked with people at every level, from high level, high school, college, pro, every level, and a lot at each level. We'll stay maybe high school, college level. From a mental aspect, where do you think the biggest weakness is?
Girls or guys. The one thing I would say would be like would make girls or guys like. So, and I'll just give you what I think with that is like when they're with a coach, you'll hear most of the coaches and the coaches that may be listening to this, I think to a degree, is the girls have you have to be careful. Like I think we talked about, you have to be careful. You better be right in order. Because like you better have your stuff tight, because they will do everything you tell them to do. And then you got the boneheads, and I'll just call them boneheads. The guys, it's funny. They're the real cocky guys that come out there, and they're not near as good as they think. But you don't want them to lose that edge either. So you got to sneak in fundamentals. Like you got to sneak in fundamentals to them, versus like I can coach the girls when they'll take it and absorb it. And I have to kind of go, you know, okay, you do this, you do that, and you kind of have to walk them through it, because they're going to do what they have so much respect. This is in general, by the way. And then the guys are like, yeah, I got you, man. Okay, I got it today. And they'll go shoot the same score, and they didn't change anything. It's like, man, what game do we got to play to get you to get this in there and sneak it in? Because I want you to have that kind of like ruthless cockiness and arrogance and confidence and all that. But I also need you to shoot a number, because if you don't, you're going to eventually goes back to what we just talked about. You're going to finally get your head drummed enough, and you're going to go, they'll either come back and eat humble pie and start listening, or if we can sneak into fundamentals, we can take that edge they have with their mental game, which is an edge. That's what you want with the girls, but then, you know, it's like, it's a push and pull balance, like yin and yang. They're totally different in high school. And college is still kind of the same. It's still kind of the same. I think when they get to that level where they get out of college and they go, all right, I got it, like especially for the guys, I think when they get out of college, they have that, they've been beat up, you know, you're not going to win all the events, and they're like, all right, I'm ready to soak it in.
Right.
That's what I've seen. That's the difference in high school and college. I don't know if that was a question you're asking on that.
Oh, yeah.
But
absolutely.
that's just kind of, that is like, oh man, it's, if you walk in my shoes, you know, with what I do for a living, and you work with high school players and college players and so forth, that's what I see most. The girls, and you love it because the girls, man, they're on your side, and bam, they'll do whatever you tell them to do, but then it's kind of like, I just need you to fly away. Once you get them, you know what I mean? You need to go be that other side. Can I get a little nasty and ruthless and go have fun? Go. You don't need me. I'll walk away this way. You walk that way.
Yeah.
And you go win. You're ready.
Yeah. I can kind of use a basketball reference on that. I've seen a lot of, and I was this way in high school first, as I was of course, fundamentals are big in basketball at that level, at the high school level or junior high level even. And so every time I got in the game, I was so worried about doing the fundamentals right, getting the triple threat, like doing everything right. I wasn't playing basketball. My only coach basically just slapped me in the back of the head and said, would you just play?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch you in practice.
Yeah.
Just play. Like, you've got it. Just go play. And it took me a while to figure that out, because I was trying to do everything exactly like Coach said, whatever. Well, you've got to react and be proactive in basketball, especially. So, yeah, just
That's
you
right.
got the swing, you got all the tools. Now go do it. Go have fun. Go win. So, no, I definitely get that. Let's talk a little bit about equipment. I know you have been really big in club fitting and different things in the
Used to be,
past.
yeah.
So let's talk about that. As far as equipment, obviously you've got to have a golf swing, you got to have a golf game. But how important do you feel getting fitted once you have that base? How important do you think it is to be fitted for the right equipment?
You know, whether I'm behind closed doors or I'm in front of anybody, I'll tell you that you got to have the best toolbox for yourself. You got to know your tool. One, you need to, when you get fit, whoever fits you, they need to have a massive toolbox. I mean, I say that all kinds of different things and match it up. But as far as importance of it, yeah, I mean, I don't care if I'm talking to somebody that, is like, is the club fitting really real? Yes, it's really real.
Yeah.
And it's no joke about it. There's no like, it's goofy, and no, it's not goofy. And I agree, like what Jesse said was a key to what he said. Now, if you come in and you're slapping the ball sideways, this way and that way, I mean, all that, is club fitting at that point really important? Probably getting the face on the ball is most important there. And then after that, then it becomes like, you need to find out what's the best toolbox for yourself, and then you have to use the right tool for the right job. I'll say that a lot. It's like, you gotta know how to use the right tool for it. It might be that you need a hybrid in your bag, and it might be that you need a blade longer. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. But I can tell you one thing: you better have it works. It makes the ball do what you're looking to do. And however that comes out, the name doesn't matter to me. The company doesn't matter. The length doesn't matter. Whatever comes out makes the ball do what you're looking for. But also from where I think with club fitting. I think in golf, this is just my opinion again. I mean, I'm not saying I'm right, I'm just saying it's my opinion, just from experience, and I'll tell you why. But it's like driver's most important, and I think putter and wedges are number 2. They're like a tie. And so, the reason why I say that, and like irons are last, but everybody go into a pro shop and buy irons. It's kind of marketed that way. There's more irons you can make, the shops can make more when they do that. But really what's important is driving. Like, so the reason why I say that is I'll give you 0 putts today. Like you go out and play, and I'll say, all right, you had no putts, 0. Just pick it up when you hit the green. Pick it up, 0. You don't have to have it. And if you hit it out of bounds every hole, you're still going to shoot. You're not even going to actually be able to play because you run around a golf ball. So in a legit tournament, you have to be disqualified. So my point is, hitting it off the tee, putting it in a zone, not 400 yards, just wherever. Just get it on the golf course, plot it out there like we talk about. That's number 1. Slap that thing up around the green 20 yards, and if you have really good wedges, hopefully hit it within 5 feet if you have really good wedges, and then you should knock the putt in if you have that. So you can start to plot. That's plotting your way around a golf course without. When you get to the tour, I think it really changes another level because they got all that stuff. They got those basic 3 fundamentals down. Now it's about iron dispersion. That becomes a huge on the tour.
Yeah.
So
Definitely give you a personal story about that. I was playing a tournament in Lima, Arkansas, and it was just a little fun tournament, but the course is kind of tight. There's kind of sage grass and just trouble. It kind of outlines the fairway in every hole. And I was hitting my irons pretty good. The short game was okay, but my driver just left that way. I didn't know if I was hitting that thing 80 yards right or left. It was everywhere. Every single hole, I was starting out of position and just trying to scramble to get it back into play. I don't care what I would have done with my iron. If I would have hit every iron 3 foot and made every single putt and got up and down every single time, I probably would have not broke 80. It didn't matter. I never had a chance to get to the green off the tee.
Because it's like if you watch college football today or pros tomorrow, it wouldn't matter. First down, every single drive for the entire game, you got 1 yard or 0 yards on first down. So you got second, third, and then you only got 2 more. So you playing golf backwards. I mean, but if you can slam it down there and like get 7 yards, and you know what I mean, like that'd be equivalent for us to where you got second and 3. You got 2 plays, get 3 yards. Probably pull that off. But in golf, it's the same thing. If you slap it down 220 yards, math on it's pretty simple. You got 180 left in, maybe on a 400-yard hole. You slap it up there around the green, 15 yards away. Hit a really nice pitch and run, or whatever you need, or pitch or chip and run, whatever it is you need to hit. Get it up there and make the putter miss the putt. I mean, I think people get caught up too much, and I think as well in the golf is like I hear people say, "Oh, I'm terrible. I shoot 90," and I say, "How much do you play in a year?" Well, they'll say, maybe 5 or 6 times. It's like, it's really not that bad. I mean, it's like bogey a hole.
Right.
It's not like bad is like when you're not far away from being really bad, but like, but you get over 100, 110, or really, and sometimes a lot of times when they say they shoot 100, 110, it's really probably 150. But when somebody's a legit 90 shooter, it's not as bad as you think. You're only about half a hole, 7, 8 holes away from with a birdie here and some pars here. You're right at 80 or 81, 82. So it's not as bad as sometimes people make it out to be.
That's what someone tells me they shoot 90. I always try to tell them, if you can, let's figure out how to get 2 birdies per round.
Yep.
And turn 6 bogeys into pars.
Yeah.
You're going to shoot 80, just like that. And you're this close doing it right now.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of just management.
It can be, that's right, taking the right angle off the tee box. It could be using the right club, hybrid on this hole versus a driver on this hole. And it could be that you needed a driver on this hole and not a hybrid. Or it could be whatever it is it gives you.
Yeah.
And that comes, I think, with watching people play. Sometimes it's easy for Jesse's not only a very good player, but he's also a teacher, and he can do all of it. But when it's easy to get locked if you just go in the driving range and say, all right, this is what you do. Well, it's not really what you do. This is what we want to do, and we want to get this consistent, things like that. But when you go out there on the golf course, things change. Your angles of the holes change, the tee box. There's a lot of illusions out there that you have to get through, and strategy, and it's very, very, very underrated. I think it was Johnny Miller that said, I can take basically about anybody that shoots 95 and teach them how to shoot 80 to 85 by just caddying for them for a month. Not teaching them, not worried about this or that. Just caddy for them. Tell them to move it over here, move it over there, and let's just kick this in play.
Exactly what Tiger was talking about. I mean, he's not hitting it near as far as some of these younger guys. There's a lot of things he can't do anymore, but one thing he can do is he can manage his way around a golf course and increase his chances of making good scores dramatically just by the shots that he chooses to hit and the misses that he takes away.
Yeah.
If you're, he may get in trouble, but he'll be in trouble in the right way, not the wrong way. So it's important. A lot of people don't understand that part of the game, especially the people you're talking about, the 100, 110 players.
Yeah.
They're swinging as hard as they can every time. They get a 100-mile slice that goes 800 miles high, and they take a drop and do the exact same thing. And just hit it low or bump it down there. You don't have to swing that hard.
Yeah, having a little bump and run slice is not bad. I mean, I know it sounds terrible to say anybody should have a slice, but I mean, you got to realize that some people don't get to play that much and all that, but they'll tee it this high, then they'll pop it up and kill their driver and everything else. And if they would just tee it down and you're going to hit that bump and run slice, just slice it out there. It's not that big a deal. If you're taking it serious, you don't want that in your game, which I would highly recommend that you don't. But it's the one that bothers me the most is not that big pull slice, because sometimes those guys and the girls, whatever, they can get that thing going and they'll miss a lot of fairways.
Right.
Snake it up. It's that drop kick duck hook is the one
you can't do anything with that.
That's the worst shot.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And you're not far away from probably hitting it good.
Right.
But the drop kick duck hook is you're not playing golf.
Even if you know you're going to do that, and you know how to aim or whatever for that shot, even if you hit the green, that thing is going 800 miles an hour when it hits the green, you're going to be back off in some. And there's nothing you can do with that.
No.
Nothing at all.
I think a lot of great players came from that, that hook, that big pusher I did. I mean, I used to take the course back. I was in the persimmon days and but then I came to the metal, and you would tee them out high, and your driver's about that big, probably like a hybrid now, and you would try to hit that uppercut, snake and get it over there and sling it around, and it would look good maybe a day or two or 3, and then about a week later you're going, shoom, shoom, and it's like, oh my God, what have I done? Your ball goes about 150 yards versus, whatever, if you have 250 or whatever. So.
Yep. Absolutely. So, like we said, it's race weekend here. We're starting to get a lot of traffic behind us here in the hotel. So, exciting here. And just to kind of retouch on what we're doing here at the property, it's a lot. We have a lot of things going on. We just redid the golf course, the layout of the golf course. We did that because we're going to open a big shots facility. If you're not familiar with that, you can look it up online. It's real similar to a very popular company that's out in all the big cities. It's going to have a huge net around it. It's going to have tiered bays, targets out on the course. It uses incredible technology. The difference is we're going to use real golf balls, and you can actually get a little bit more real experience from a golf standpoint. And then, of course, we mentioned Matt's bringing the Elite Golf Performance Golf Academy here on site. We should have that completed hopefully by. I mean, we're open now. He's rocking right now. But we are building his facility, putting a brand new practice green for him and his students. A big bunker back there for fairway bunker shots, greenside bunker shots. We're building the building with bays. So full on academy.
Potential to put some different grasses back there too.
Different.
Different types of roughs, or even potentially might even have a smaller green and bent, because we're going to try to make this competition friendly as we possibly can. So like when somebody plays in different areas, if you're a college player or a tour player that comes out on property, you can get experience like what it's like to feel these things, and that's not going to be done right now, but we're working on it. We're going to try to do everything we can to make it the way it's supposed to be built.
Yeah, and Matt has students come in from all over the country, so if you're interested, of course we have the Marriott Hotel here on site. We have a deal worked out with Matt where we can get you a special rate if you're coming in from out of town. So tell them how they can get a hold of you, reach out to you if they're interested.
Yeah, so first thing is my phone number. Just call me on my phone. It's really not real complex with that part of it. It's 512-508-1504. Just feel free to call. If I don't answer, it's because I'm doing something with Jesse will tell you we all stay busy right here, but I will call you back. And then go to the website. If you don't know who I am and you want to know a little bit more, just go to the website. It's eliteGolfPerformance.net. And that'll give you, it's a very informational website, and I made it that way because I'm a golfer. If I was, when I built that website, it'd be like, if I came in if I wanted to see a website, I want to know, tell me what you got, tell me everything, just throw it out there. And then you'll see that it's probably a little overcooked with some of it, but I don't hold anything back. And then we also have a YouTube channel. It's very simple. Go to YouTube and just search Elite Golf Performance. This is one thing that we were talking about yesterday is we're almost 1 million views right now with that channel, and then this video will be uploaded to that. And so hopefully this is a video that'll break that 1 million mark. So I haven't made a video in 3 years.
Yeah.
So
1 million views is pretty impressive. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And and like I said, we've got a golf course here. So if you come on and work with Matt, you're going to be able to play the golf course. We've got the hotel set up. So right here on property, so it's all kind of one-stop shop. You're gonna have a great experience. So we definitely would love to have, no matter what level you're at. Like I said, he works with the most elite of the elite, and everybody from there down. So if you want to get better and you're serious about it, it's a great way to do it. And I can tell you from experience, I've known Matt for over 20 years, and I've worked with, over my time, I've worked with a lot of different teaching pros. I've been to seminars, a lot of different things with different pros and different teachers, and I can tell you, I'm not just saying this because you're right here. The way you go about it, it's effective. It's not just talking. It's not just I'm going to do this because I'm going to tell you to train this way because that's the method I teach. You look at everyone, you look at what they need to do, and that's what you're going to do to make them a better player. And I think that's awesome.
Thank you. One of my mentors, his name is Paul Berkeley, and if you've been in this business as a coach, he's old school, but he's no longer with us, but he was one of my mentors, and he's always like, you got to feed what they need, and that took me a long time to learn. And then Chuck Cook had a major influence in my life as well, so did Butch Harmon, but Chuck was really more about like simplifying. He's like, all this information, but it's hard to talk in less complex terms, and that really helped me. As well. I've had so many mentors, it's just ridiculous. But it's what I've really done for pretty much my whole professional career has been doing this, and I love it. I love it as much now as I did back then. And I love to make the older I get. And I had another one of my mentors, Rob Burnell. He's an awesome, just amazing coach. But he always said, man, if you teach, and this is back when I was a kid, he said, if you teach every 10 years the same, you ain't doing something right. And you know what? It's funny. It's not even 10 years. About 3 or 4, you kind of start. You start cross training, learning all these different things. So And nowadays, it's probably like technology; it just changes even faster.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you got to get all this big wealth of knowledge as you can. And that would be one thing I would tell any young teaching pro is, don't be afraid to cross train with other people. Where there's somebody says, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Just do it. How would you know? Don't take somebody's word. Go try it. Do whatever you want to do. Get your wealth of knowledge so vast so you can actually talk about and have a conversation. I'll give you a good example of that real quick. Is I had somebody that was talking about it was actually 1 and 2 plane swing, and it was a coach, and he was a decent golf coach or whatever, but he was knocking it. I'm not saying that's not what I'm believing, but I was like, so I heard him say it to a client, and I said, so tell me how much you know about 1 and 2 plane swing, because I really don't know. It's just not one of the philosophy I believe in. You can't. That's not good enough. Like, you need to know it. Like, so you can vouch for it. You can either say, like, there's things I like or I don't like, or I don't like any of it, or I love it all. But you need to know and cross-train, in my opinion, with all types of instructors. And I was very fortunate to be able to do that. And I made myself do it. And eat humble pie. And sometimes you go, I don't believe that. But, just listen. Don't tell them what you think. Just listen. And then all of a sudden bring it in. And as you get older, what I notice is my teaching is much simpler. It's like, I'm not going, well, A didn't work, let's try T, or 1 didn't work, let's try number 12. And everything in between make this work. It's like, nah, it's just 1 and 2. And when you get good, 1 and 2 work. And if they don't, your system, shouldn't say system, but your philosophy is probably just not there yet. Once you get it right, it's going to be like 1 and 2. Maybe when you say, like, all right, and you kind of like, we always say, I can teach you as fast as you can learn it. So it's like, let 1 and 2 sink, and go to 3 and 4. And that's in every aspect of every discipline of the game. Better ones save less. The best ones I've been around do less, work less, not being like work that, but they make it just really easy for the player, every level.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then so Matt's got that going with the academy. As far as on the golf course side, I said that earlier in the video. We ran 21 tournaments this month here on property, and it's kind of what I love to do. I love to
awesome,
put together tournaments, make it as fun as I can for the clients. So if you guys have any tournaments, anything you want to put together, even if it's not a tournament, if it's a team building event, Matt and I are working on putting together team building events where bring your employees or whoever group out, and we'll do a fun team building event on the range. We'll break you up into groups, and we'll run through stations. We'll have a contest. Everybody's going to have a good time. So we're working on a lot of different things. So anything you need, this property's going to have. We have it right now. It's just we're going to keep expanding and just adding more options. So anything you need, we'd love for you to give us a call.
Sure.
And see if we can help you. And you're going to have fun when you come on property here.
Yeah, Jesse was bragging on me earlier a little bit about the teaching, and it's nice. It's not my best thing to do. I don't do well sometimes hearing things like that, but I appreciate it. It's not that at all. But it's like, but with him, the same thing goes the other way. It's like, not only is he a very good player, he's a very good teacher. He knows a lot of the aspects of the game, but he puts on tournaments that you've never, like, you might have been to a lot of tournaments, but that's what he loves, putting on tournaments, putting on a show for everybody. And we've already seen the difference now. I mean, when I think you invited me here, it was in June, and man, now these tournaments are flying through. People are loving it. They eat it up. And when I say a show, I mean, you got the music, you got this, you got everybody's doing their job. That's another thing too. With what Jesse does is he's got everybody really interconnected between from the hotel to the golf course. And so we all kind of know each other. That's a cool thing. So it's like when you come on property, if you say, hey, who's Jesse or who's Matt, they're most likely you're going to run into a lot of people that know us, and the same thing over there. If they were over there and say, hey, just check in with who and who, where and so forth. We know we really work well together and we're interconnected, and that's not always very normal with the hotel or resort. And in the golf course, they try to separate that.
That's a good one. That's something I feel like is very important to make your overall experience when you come see us better, because we can all work together to make sure we're giving you the best possible treatment while you're here. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
that's good. So
no doubt about it.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, let's make. I want to do a little bit of predictions for this PGA Tour season. So. Let's do this. Let's pick the top 3 people we think are going to kind of stand out and have big years this year? I'll let you go first. Putting you on the spot here.
Oh my gosh. So 3 for what? You're talking about like starting now or starting after the first year?
We'll start now. We'll start now. There's not a lot of big tournaments down there. So.
Because you have the WGC. I'm always said I like where McElroy's headed. I think that's gosh, that's kind of me.
Yeah.
I don't think Brooks Koepka, Brooks is going anywhere. I wouldn't, obviously I always think Tiger, but health is a thing on that. You don't know how much he's going to play or want to play. I think he's going to be focused on majors. I hope he clips another 1 or 2, or I hope he wins them all. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
As far as that, I would take Dustin Johnson. And a lot of that, as far as mentality, here's mental. I should say it like this. Mentally, I love where McElroy's headed and Brooks is there. If Dustin Johnson gets fired up, I'm gonna take him. But I don't know what his mindset is with that right now. But if he gets fired up and gets tired of getting beat up, he's that guy can play.
Yeah, sure.
So that's my 3.
That's your 3. Okay, I'm gonna agree with Rory. I can't leave him out because to me he's gonna be the player this year. I fully think that you mentioned Tiger. I'm gonna put him in with an asterisk as long as he's healthy.
Yeah,
he's gonna be there. 100% he's gonna be there.
I never got against him.
And this last week when he won, he looked different. I mean, he's had a few tournaments like that, so we'll see if that lasts. But he was moving good. You can tell when he's not feeling good. He slowed him down. He just walks different. He looked good this week.
He did. I mean, it was incredible, man. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, and
it's easy to forget about the Masters. He won the Masters, and it's like, oh my gosh, that was the one to put him over the top.
That's what was crazy to me is he won the Masters, and then 2 months later, everybody was talking about Tiger's done. I'm like, he's
not done.
He's a major champion this year. It didn't make sense to me.
If he was playing,
I'd say I'm gonna go with Adam Scott.
Adam Scott.
That's a little reach. I'm gonna put somebody people wouldn't expect, but I think last year he just slowly kept getting better and better. He's his putting. If his putting comes around, he putted good. He started let the flag stick in, and they started making more putts. But I think with his swing, if he's going, he's there. He's there.
No question.
I'm looking right now. I just found his name. He's 15th place this week. So
that's not a bad pick. Sure.
Yeah. So that's going to be out there.
It's just one of those dudes where you look at him and you just kind of go, man, that's just, if you could just draw it up. And I don't look at it that way because I like a Craig Stadler. I like somebody that's different. John Daly, and I love all that because you need that.
Yeah.
But if you just drew one up and you were being an artist and said, all right, I just want to draw what it should look like, he wouldn't be far off.
Yeah.
He'd be what I'd probably draw it up like that personally.
That's true. Okay, so that's our picks. Again, about this show, it's the first one, but we want to get more interactive with you guys. So if you're watching this, leave comments, anything that you agree, disagree with, anything you want to hear us talk about in future shows. And we're going to go through those. We're going to spend the time to read your comments and try to see what you guys want us to talk about and work with you guys. So we love your feedback. That's the way this show's going to work.
Yep.
And again, we're going to start doing these once a week.
Yeah, we're going to do this at least once a week, and it'll be on you if you guys, because we need you guys to get involved with us. The more you get involved, the more we'll pump out. It's something we could probably do every day eventually down the road. But we need you to get involved and tell your buddies, send it to your buddies, let them know what's going on here. I think you'll learn a lot of cool things. The other thing would be we're going to be bringing in a lot of guests as well. Club champions. We want to bring in not from amateur level, from juniors to club champions on both sides with the women's and men's, to high level amateur golf to where they're playing state and national competitions, and then also to the tour level, where you can get a feel. We want to get it really interactive, where we have conversations with these players and tell them about their journey and how they got to be that level. And it's going to be eerily similar to hear how much they all do the same, and they don't even know each other, but how they prepare themselves for tournaments and so forth.
That's one thing I've always been very interested in, is not just in golf, taking people that are really, really good at whatever it is they do, and here and there. Not golf. It could be golf, it could be another sport, it could be business, whatever. Listening to their journey and what they did to get there, and finding the similarities. And it's amazing to me how similar they are. It could be two totally different. Golf and sales could be two totally different things, but there's similarities that you'll find. So we want to kind of get into those things, especially in kind of focus more on the golf aspect of it. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Anything else you want to add? I think
I'm good.
Okay, well guys, we appreciate you watching, and as we said, keep your eyes open. We're gonna have these videos pop out at least once a week. We're gonna probably do a little bit more consistently than that once we get going, but we need your feedback, so please leave comments, reach out. You got the number, call us, whatever you want to do, just let us know. So we appreciate you guys watching.
Yeah, let your friends know. That's the only thing. We can share it with your buddies and get it moving. The more you move it around, the more we're going to give back. I promise you that. We've got a lot to give back. We both have over 40 plus years of experience, and we're going to have people that are in this room that are going to have the same type of thing. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. All right, guys, we appreciate you watching. Matt, Christian, and Jesse Coffman, thank you.